Fox 9 Sports now.
I still think that $3, $5, and $6 is more of an aphrodisiac than even this wonderful blue sky we're under today. The truth is that these guys gutted it out, and they delivered, and they kicked Doug Simonick's butt. You know, I'm a baseball guy through and through. Life is good. I don't know how this happened.
Yes, we all wonder how it happened, but here we are tonight with Mike Veeck, owner of the St. Paul Saints. Very honored to have you here. You also have your hands in 3 other teams, and this, though, being the most successful independent baseball team in the land. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, and it's opening week.
Well, it's an honor, and it is, you know, when you watch those kind of moments and you think about what happened going back to 1993 when the pundits said, oh, they'll be out of business in 45 days, and here we are and moving into CHS Field. I still look at it and I go, boy, am I a lucky guy.
It is phenomenal because about this time last year was the debut of CHS Field, and the Saints move to Lowertown, and you lobbied a long time to get that stadium built, and it was a vision that you had that it would be viable. But take us back to that night as you watched the gates open up. What was running through your head that evening?
I was thinking that 6.5 years that we devoted walking around to Lowertown, going through the Capitol, presenting our ideas, and I thought about Julian Lascalzo, who opposed every stadium in the history of the world, going back to the Coliseum, you know, and Julie Snow, who designed this understatedly elegant building that was humble. When we were talking before you went on, when you said, I don't want to know where the farmer's market ends and the ballpark begins. And as we were driving in this evening, you look at the ballpark, it goes down. It's representational of our whole approach to marketing, which is, we know we're in the land of giants with the Twins and the Vikings building. I don't know when they unearthed Noah's Ark. When did they dig that up? I thought it was Minneapolis, not Mesopotamia.
Are you referring to U.S. Bank Stadium? Could that be USS Bank?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
the
it's USS Bank Stadium.
Boy, that is big.
All right, a little bit more about CHS Field and the design. And as you said, you wanted it to fit into Lowertown. I mean, there are people that basically didn't even know where Lowertown was, that have lived in the Twin Cities their whole life. Yet you had over 10,000 fans showing up for games a couple of times last season, over 400,000. Your capacity was 112% last year.
Yeah.
I mean, how did this all come together?
Well, I think that we built a ballpark of the people, for the people, and by the people. We are baseball fans. We're fans. My partner, Bill Murray, is an artist. We obviously understand the cultural impact that Lowertown and the artists specifically have. So we catered to them. We had art on display, constantly art at the front gates, art at the back gates, music. And it was designed with the community in mind. We had charrettes where people came in and contributed ideas. This is how we think it should be done. This is how we think we can maximize the fans' experience. And a communal effort is really tough. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, you have a lot of fist fights and a lot of arguments. Mayor Coleman and Dave Thune, people contributed a great deal. So it was most of all, I think, it was just humbling. I just watched those gates open, and I thought, thank God my father taught me to hang around with smart people, because they really did a great job, and I just tried to stay out of the way.
All right, now the impact that the ballpark has had on the city itself, I mean, that Lowertown area has exploded. And I can guarantee you, even though I've not spoken to every business owner in that area, they must want to hug you. Every day they see you walk by and see all those fans streaming by. Why that area? Why did you think that would be the spot for the ballpark.
It's got a great vibe to it, and there was a beautiful piece of land that was just sitting there with the ugliest building ever designed. It's not easy to make a Sam's Warehouse look beautiful, but I'm telling you, the Gillette building accomplished that and more. So there was this huge plot of land, and it was right on the outskirts. It was joining the conservation areas. We have a dog park this year that's themed. We've sold the naming rights to the dog park. I mean, life is good. But mostly, it was the impact of all of these things coming together, of the artists coming together, the thinkers downtown, the people who on the architectural review board said, we're not going to give up these wonderful buildings. Lenny Russo next door in Heartland. These people all have been working that neighborhood for a long time, and I think it was the perfect storm, a confluence, if you will, of exactly what they needed, people. They needed people. They had the infrastructure. People knew exactly what to do. It's like having an art crawl 50 nights a week. That's 50 times a year. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's been tremendous. And then, there's the team itself last year. They kind of got lost in the shuffle, but they were fabulous, winning nearly 3/4 of their games last year. 74 out of 100. Who does that?
Nobody except the creeps that beat us. I get choked up. I can't believe it. The topping was we should have won, and George assembled a great team, 4 10-plus game winners. I mean, that was a terrific ball club, and it's evidenced by the fact that we have, I think, only 6 or 7 returning members from last year's team, which means they've done what they wanted to do, which was move on back into organizations. And of course, we've got Theobald coming back, and George has worked to assemble a pretty good group again this year. But boy, 74 wins are hard to equal.
And that's another part of this story. I mean, obviously it's fun, but for these players, this is a second chance. And I think by running an independent league like this gives those guys another opportunity to prove that they belong.
One of the things that's so important that the fans have always understood about the Saints, it's real baseball. It's great baseball because you have a balance of veterans and rookies so that the youngsters get good faster. They're playing with guys like Darryl Strawberry and Jack Morris and right. Millar, and this gives people a chance to improve. But if you want to see the best baseball in the world, you have to see the Twins. Maybe not at this moment, but you have to see the Twins. And so we understood that the selling point would be the fans first and the fun. But underneath that, if you come out, you get hooked. This is a pretty good brand of AA baseball. And if the pitching's good, you'll see a great AAA game out there. So it's a much better product than people have ever realized. Right. That's probably my fault that I haven't said more about the baseball and less about my ridiculous shenanigans.
No, that never happens at the ballpark. We've never seen anything like that, like driving through an outfield wall or anything like that.
I mean, all accidental.
Yeah, it just kind of happens at the ballpark. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, more on the history of the Saints. Plus, Mr. Veeck has a brand new book out.
Welcome back to Fox 9 Sports Now.
Welcome back to Sports Now, and Mike Veeck rejoins us. And it was over 20 years ago, 1993, that the Saints were founded, and it became instantly a huge success. Is that what you had envisioned? Did you expect it to explode like it did at Midway Stadium?
No. I thought, Jimmy, if we could stay in business for 3 years, that we would have accomplished something wonderful. I did love this part of the country. It's a great baseball area. The Saints this year were celebrating, Paul Molitor, for example, comes from this area. Billy Peterson, Dave Winfield coached both of them. I mean, this is a red-hot area for baseball. So we knew that we were coming into a real hotbed. Miles Wolff, the Durham Bulls owner, had always wanted to have an independent league, which simply means we're not subjected to rules and regulations.
You're such a rule follower.
Yeah, I love rules the way I do.
That's your favorite.
It's kind of like when somebody says they don't remember Eckert was a commissioner of baseball. That's really the original unknown soldier. He was But Bill Murray stood next to me on the opening day and he said, we got a lot of billboards for sale. And I said, I really think there's something happening here. I think this is going to catch on. And the loyal Midwayites, the original fans who supported and continue to support, are a big reason that we've stayed successful. We've kept that kind of feeling of I don't want to say family because everyone uses it now, but it's a coalition.
They took it from you.
A coalition of people who believe in this family of man in community, in a sense of community, and that's what built Midway.
All right, so what happens this year? Can you give us a little glimpse into the box?
Well, first of all, we're about to unveil a program with Delta Airlines that I think will change forever the way that sports marketing is done. And I tip my hat to Delta. And I'm not being mysterious. We're letting it out slowly. But I can say my old man would be crazed about this. And, you know, with only one leg, he only had one leg to stand on. So I'm not hinting. But I do think Angry Birds deserves a little tip of the cap. You know, there have been some sightings of birds hitting buildings and things like that.
We've heard there could be a problem with the stadium.
Yeah, you know, we're going to go up a little higher so that maybe we can intercept a couple of those birds and keep them from killing themselves.
Exactly.
Becoming a statistic, a bird statistic. And it's time to dust off Bob election. You know, every presidential year, we give away 1,500, 750 of each, and the first one gone is the winner, and we've predicted correctly in the last 4 elections. I don't know this year if anybody will stop talking long enough, including me.
All right, now we have to get to this. This is your new book.
Yes.
It is amazing. Okay, I have to read the title here. Another boring, derivative, piece of crap business book.
300,000 business books written every year. Nobody reads anything but the first chapter. So we put the whole book in the first chapter. And we thought that was appropriate. If that's what research shows, there are 300,000 of these written, we're going to write one to get your attention. You're not going to see that title anywhere else other than...
No, this will jump off the list when you're going through it. But this isn't a sports book, though. This is more about business.
No, if I've learned anything during my tenure with the Saints, it's how people will do magnificent things for you. Employees, Tom Whaley and Derek Scherer, these guys have gone beyond the pale, as we like to say, in coming up with great ideas, creative ideas. And it's all about how you deal with people in the front office. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. What does it matter? When did it? My old man built a career on making mistakes, you know, and it was good enough to get him in the Hall of Fame because he was fearless when it came to trying something. And we become a society that goes, did it work in St. Louis? If it worked in St. Louis, I think I can do it, you know, and make people, include people, make your company inclusive and take time to find out what people are thinking about, what your customers are saying to your frontline people. And none of it costs you anything. It costs you a little bit of time, but to change the structure, the structure of your business, the culture of your business, only takes a commitment from you and a few people, and it spreads like wildfire, because when people are having fun, they're 6 times more productive. They're 6 times more productive. They stay healthy, fewer sick days. It's really important. And millennials, smartest generation that I've seen. I teach at the Citadel, and these kids are bright, and they want to have fun. They want to have fun. My daddy, your father and mother, they worked an average of 7 years at a job before they left. Millennials are going to work 2 years, and that's going to give you time to show that you're committed, that you have a conscience, and that you're going to make it fun for them. I think these guys, we're in great hands.
All right. Well, this is going to be entertaining. Now, there's also no introduction because no one reads that either, correct?
That's right. I mean, we cut all the stuff that's superfluous.
Chapter is all you have to read.
Read the one chapter.
I take you can find it anywhere, correct?
You can. Amazon and Barnes & Noble online, and select bookstores in the Twin Cities area.
The good one. Mr. Veeck, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Opening day for the Saints is this Thursday. We'll be there live. Will you join us live Thursday?
I'd love to. Tickets available.
Tickets
it's never sold out.